Welcome to episode 3 of the Learn to Play series for Kingdoms Forlorn. In this video, we'll guide you through setting up your first clash, and in episode 4, we'll show you the ropes of how clashes work and walk you through the first round. First off, a quick introduction. The winning condition in most clashes is dealing a specified number of wounds to your opponent. Typically, one expedition includes 2 clashes. An exhibition clash during the 8th round or when prompted, and a full clash during the last round, the 16th hour. These two play out almost the same, except in an exhibition clash you add generic single wound cards to the wound stack from the get-go. In practice, this means you have to deal less wounds to win. Good thing this tutorial clash is an exhibition one too. Alright, let's prepare the battlefield. Place the Clashboard in the middle of your play area. Then, take 4 Mortis decks, Minor, Major, Grave, and Judicium, as well as the Condition deck, and place them on the corresponding spaces on the left of the board. Then search the Minor Mortis deck, and place the Vision of the Grail card face down on top of the deck. Mortis cards represent the various negative and sometimes positive effects of being hit. As for the Judicium deck, we'll need to split it. Initially, only 2 cards should be in the deck. You live and you died. Place all other Judicium cards in the Massive Peril space on the Clashboard. You may need to add them to the deck later. Now, let's place Knight tokens, attack dice, and power dice within reach. Each player should already have their Knight board or Squire board in front of them, with all the needed components. Make sure you do not reset any of your statistics. You start the clash with the same stats you ended up with at the end of the delve phase. The same goes for technique cards. The unused ones are in your hand, but the depleted cards remain in their respective areas. However, you do have to flip all the cards to their clash side. Let's do that now. Next, find the components for the monster you will be facing, the Ironcast Dead. Their monster sheet, AI cards, BP cards, the signature and routine card, as well as their miniatures. Now, place the Ironcast Dead monster sheet and the signature and routine card on the indicated space below the Clashboard. Remember the end of the last episode? The last passage told us to place a permanent negative AT token on the monster sheet before we begin the clash. In practice, that means the mobs will be easier to kill. We'll explain how it works in detail in the next episode. Now, take all AI cards and divide them into 3 decks, numbered 1, 2, and 3. You'll find the number on the back of the cards. Then, search deck 1 for the Rusted/AI and put that card on top. It will help us demonstrate how AI cards work later. Lastly, place deck 1 on the indicated space of the Clashboard and put the other 2 nearby. Time to prepare the BP cards now. Divide them into 3 decks, also numbered 1, 2, and 3, just like you did with AI cards. Now, we need a BP to represent each of our 8 enemies. First off, find the Bone Squire BP1 card. Since there are 2 cards with this name, make sure your card has the ID 28A1498 in its upper right corner. Place that card face down on space number 1 on the mob track above the Clashboard. Then shuffle the remaining 5 BP1 cards with 2 random BP2 cards and place them face down on the other spaces of the track. Place the other 2 BP decks near the Clashboard. The numbered spaces on the mob track correspond to numbers on mob base rings. This way, you'll know that when attacking Mob 1 on the board, you have to refer to the BP card on the first space of the track. The Clash may sometimes instruct you to spawn a new monster. In those cases, you place a new BP from the BP deck on this track, always starting from the leftmost free space. Next, take 2 activation tokens, 1 AI activation token, and 1 signature activation token, and place them on the 2 leftmost BP cards on the mob track, readied side up. When placing activation tokens, always follow the order on the monster sheet under the activation symbol. Now, take the column terrain card and place it on one of the terrain card spaces on the right of the board. Then, take 8 column terrain tiles and place them on spaces indicated in the setup. Time to put our knights on the battlefield now. Place each of your 4 characters on spaces on the Clashboard according to the setup image. Normally, you would be able to choose freely between these 4 spaces, but for this tutorial, the placement is fixed. Make sure you place each character on the correct space. Next, take the Iron Cast Dead miniatures and attach them to base rings. Then, place them on spaces indicated on the diagram. Again, make sure each mob is on the correct space. Now it's time to assign the priority target token to the knight with the highest passion. Since Kara gained 1 passion due to an exploration cipher, at the beginning of episode 2, she is our priority target. Next, place the other game components, namely armor tokens and Panzer Parasite condition cards near the Clash board. Also a reminder, if you haven't placed warm-up effect tokens in the Knight pool after using technique cards during the Delve phase, do that now. And lastly, let's take a look at the monster sheet again. The heart icon indicates the amount of wounds you need to win in a full clash, while the broken heart icon next to it is the number of generic wounds you add to the wound stack at the start of the exhibition clash. Since this is an exhibition clash, let's take a generic single wound card and place it on the wound stack space in the bottom right corner of the board. Well, that's it for the clash setup. You're all ready to start playing now. In episode 4, we'll jump right into action and walk you step by step through the first round of the clash. See you there.